So if you guys want to follow along, I think it's the last page is where I have the notes. The stuff in bold is what you want to hit. And then, you know, if Craig got here late and didn't get one, then that's just too bad for him.
Yeah, leave it early.
And so the stuff that's not in bold is the stuff you just want to expand on. We'll start off with the rocket. Theoretically, you guys would each have one of these. This is not the one you're going to throw. I doubt it would fly very well if I threw it, but you'll start with this because this is what we're showing the kids that they're going to get. So my name is Mr. McNew. I'm with the Cub Scouts, and I want to talk to you guys today about rockets, and I have one here. This is one that we're going to be using in Cub Scouts this year. And so I want to talk to you guys a little bit about the parts of the rocket, and I have a diagram here from NASA that talks about the parts of a model rocket. And so we have the nose cone up at the front, and this silver part here is the tube. It's the body tube. Inside the back here is where we would put the engine, and then right here, these things here are the fins, and that's the blue parts right here. So my question for you guys is, what do you think the most important part of a rocket is?
Motor.
That's right.
No.
The fins.
Because that's what the astronauts are at.
The fins, because even without a motor, I can still throw a rocket. I mean, an arrow is basically a rocket, and it predates history with no motor. But without the fins, it's not going to fly correctly. Fins are a lot like the back of an airplane, where we have this section right here, the elevator and the rudder, and that's what either steers the airplane or makes it go straight. And so what I want to talk to you guys today in regards to rockets is about the fins and the center of gravity. So we know that the fins are important, just like they are on an airplane. And so what I have here is a cardboard tube rocket, and then I have just a cardboard tube. The other thing that's important besides the fins is this, where the center of gravity is. And you want the center of gravity to be about in the middle of your rocket. You want it to basically balance on your finger. The reason for that is that if the center of gravity is too far forward, then the rocket's liable to tip over in flight. And if it's too far towards the back, then it's liable to spiral and not fly straight. So if we look at these two, which do we think is going to fly better? Do you think it's this one? So we'll try throwing this one to my buddy over here, and we'll see how it works. And it kind of goes to the side.
Catch it? He didn't catch
this one. We'll see if this one, aim it towards him. We'll see if this one flies a little bit better, right? And it goes in a straight line because of the fins. Thank you. Okay, so then this is something that you would not cover with the first and second graders, but you may want to consider it with the older ones. How do we tell how high your rocket goes up? So if we give you one of these rockets and it goes up in the air, and you and your buddies are trying to compare who's went higher, how do we know? How can we tell how high the rocket went? Does anybody have any ideas?
You get a protractor.
Time.
Okay, so you've got protractor and you've got time. The protractor is good, but you kind of have to, there's an estimation there. With time, you can time it if you have a stopwatch. There's a simple calculation. If your rocket goes up, you time it the entire time it's in the air in seconds, and then you multiply that times itself. So let's say the rocket's in the air for 5 seconds. So 5 seconds times 5 seconds is what? 25, okay? Then you multiply that number times 4. So 25 times 4 is? 100. It went 100 feet in the air. It's a simple equation. The truth is, it's like 95% right. We don't have to tell the kids that part. So it's a simple equation so that you can tell how high your rocket went. So let's say it was in the air for 4 seconds. How high was it? 4 times 4 is? 16. And 16 times 4 is? 64. 64 feet. That's how high it went. So I've told you a little bit about rockets. We know that what's important?
Motor.
The fins. And now the older boys and girls know how to calculate how high their rocket went if they've got a stopwatch. So if you guys will come out tomorrow night when we come to your school, we will be giving out rockets, or depending on what your pack decides, we'll be giving out a sheet that will give you, you'll have a rocket when you come to the next event, however you guys decide to explain that. But I'd also like to talk to you guys about some of the other things that we do in scouting. You'll take that and pass that down, like that, and pass that down. Take that, pass that around, please. So along with model rockets, I want to ask you guys, how many of you guys like to shoot BB guns? Who likes to go camping?
No.
Who likes to roast marshmallows over the fire and make s'mores?
No.
Who likes to race cars? Because those are all the things that we do in scouting. So he's got a water rocket right there. We build water rockets and we launch those along with the model rockets. We build Pinewood Derby cars like that one there, and the boys get to race them. We go camping. We roast marshmallows when we go camping. We shoot bows and arrows, BB guns. When you're old enough, you can carry a pocket knife, and we'll teach you how to use that safely. We'll go fishing. And then let me ask you this: how many of you guys have gone to see the Biscuits play? And this is how I hook them right here at the end. Okay, because in May, no, I usually don't say the month. I just say there's one night where they'll let us come and camp out on the Biscuits field. We get to watch a game. They have the fireworks, and then after everybody leaves, we get to camp out on the Biscuits field. So how cool do you think that would be to pitch your tent, sleep out on the Biscuits field where everybody plays, and then get up the next morning? So if you're interested in doing those things, we want you to come out tomorrow night with your parents and the sheets out at this point, and come and join scouting. That's it.
All right, you do it.
So we're not actually making something with them? We're not.
No,
This was just to make for us to take to demonstrate.
Right.
Right, you were going to make this prior to going to the classroom.
Yeah, no, we wouldn't